ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Channel 23, sponsored by Intrepid Potash, and we're here today at the beautiful Blue House Cafe and Restaurant. And as you know, this program, The Faces of Carlsbad, is a program where we introduce people that you might know, that you might not know, but today we're going to introduce you to one of the nicest gentlemen I've ever met in this city. And I'm referring to my friend Brad Molgard. Brad, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Bob. Those are
Just enjoy it, because I'm the one who has to think of all these wonderful questions, right?
Okay.
Anyway, Brad, people might not know that you are a police officer on the Carlsbad Police Department, in the department, and there are many things that they want to know about you, though, because many of them have never seen you before. So today I'm going to start at the beginning.
The beginning.
Yes, the beginning. Where were you born, and where did you grow up?
Well, see, I immigrated here from Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin. I was born in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
That's right on Lake Michigan.
Right on Lake
Yes,
Michigan. Right. And I love Wisconsin. It's a beautiful state, and rolling hills and green, lush forests, woodlands, and picturesque farmland, and just consider myself fortunate, to be born in that part of the country. Grew up mostly in a small community called Salem, which is outside. Kenosha is about 100,000 people, kind of a larger, city. But later in childhood was, reared more in the rural area of Salem. So.
What was the population of Salem approximately?
Oh boy, probably 600 people.
600 people.
That lot, just farmland and such, dairy farming, such like that. And but then we moved out here in about 1981.
What brought you west?
Well, probably work was the biggest issue. Most of us older people remember American Motors. Some of the younger might not remember that, but I was working for the car manufacturer. Well, got laid off, and just industry and such was really depressed there. So. Work obviously was not to be found. So mother and my stepfather moved out here for the weather in Carlsbad and asked us to come out, and we moved out here. It was a change for us. We've never been out west. I mean, west is a lot different.
Oh yes, indeed.
Kind of a culture shock to us, but we've assimilated. Goodness, we love this community now, and just gained so many friends and such here, and kind of our second home now. Well,
when you lived in Wisconsin, you had a lot of those snowstorms during the winter, right?
Oh, well, yes. I mean, you got plenty of those. I mean, they get intense sometimes.
Yeah, right. Well, as a child, what did you enjoy doing more than anything?
Oh, I guess, football, baseball, ice hockey in the winter, of course, sledding and such, winter sports. Obviously winters can be long and hard, so you just don't sit inside. You want to be outside, so you learn to assimilate the cold and such, but of course the Green Bay Packers, that was part of growing up.
That was your favorite team, the Green Bay Packers.
That's right, yeah.
Are the Packers still your favorite team?
Yes, they are. Actually, I don't follow football as much as I used to. The boys keep me apprised, though. My two sons, they're hardcore Packer fans, even though they were both raised here in the Southwest. They're Packers. They were number one team.
Well, what was the biggest cultural shock when you came into New Mexico?
Oh, probably the climate and the heat. I wasn't used to 105. I mean, that was, and then just the wind, the dust and such, we weren't used to that. Some of the wide open spaces, the lack of greenery and such was different. And it just took some time, though, to, appreciate, and again, going about the state, Cloudcroft area, Santa Fe, seeing some of the high mountain areas, starting to kind of take in the whole state, really appreciating and learning to appreciate the landscape of this state. So it grew on us, after a time.
Well, talking about the heat, I came out from Ohio on an air-conditioned train those days, and I got off the train down here, and the temperature was 106 degrees, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've never been in heat like this.
It's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, it really is. But
like,
as you mentioned, you adjust yourself to it, and sooner or later you just accept
well,
it.
I've acclimatized, because now when we take our visits back home, I can't take that cold anymore. Lost my winter coat, so.
Oh.
So I guess you do acclimatize. I guess that's what I feel.
So
like.
when you got to Carlsbad, what did you do?
Worked, oil field jobs, some construction. Eventually made my way into worked for an insurance agency for a time. And it was a good move because it built a lot of confidence that I think I needed and such, which I think kind of set me up for my current career. And at the age approaching 30, I started thinking, man, I really need something solid, something professional. And years past, I'd always been interested, in police work and such.
Oh, you were interested in it.
It kind of come and go. Well, actually, in fact, I tested Beloit, Wisconsin Police Department. Like 600 applicants for 3 positions, but then kind of put it back. But I think the insurance sales agency position did kind of help prepare me. And but looking at the police department for good, just the solid, position, kind of career with, of course, retirement, something you start thinking of when you're about 30 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, I can do this. So I'd started with the department in 1988. So.
Now, when did you meet your lovely wife, Teresa?
Back in, I'm saying 1975 because I know we got married in 76. 1976. We were married December 1976. She's also from the Kenosha area, born in Kenosha, and grew up in the Summers. At Summers area, small community. And her dad, her uncle, such, they farmed. Grandfather started to farm and such. So farming family and such.
So you met her in Wisconsin?
Yes. Yeah, we're both from Wisconsin.
And did she enjoy coming out here to this part of the country?
Well, I don't. Again, it was a change. Kind of a difficult change for us to come out here and assimilate to a new environment, new community and such.
She didn't threaten you with divorce to go back to Wisconsin?
No.
Okay.
We just determined this is something I probably were going to have to do because, it was the best thing, for us. So.
Now, you have 2 sons.
Yes.
Yeah, and they both have interesting careers.
Well,
as you look back on the boys growing up, did they show any interest in police work?
I'm trying to think. Probably my youngest son, Justin, possibly did. And growing up, them growing up with a father in law enforcement, I'd have to get their opinion. They enjoyed it. As far as they thought it was really interesting. The stories I'd have to tell them. And I come home and such, But both of them are in the military right now, which my wife blames me for putting the uniform on, and they both took up the call to serve their country.
Well, Justin is serving where?
He's in the Marine Corps, and he's currently assigned, and he's out in San Diego, assigned a drill instructor. And recently now has been accepted and assigned as a warrant officer. Will be attending training and commissioned as a warrant officer. So Joshua, the oldest, now he attended Bob Jones University in Greenville, South Carolina, and then did his graduate studies in Clemson. Got his master's degree in physics. But now he's in the Army, captain in the Army right now.
And where's he stationed?
He's at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
In Missouri.
Yeah.
Are they both satisfied for the locations that they're now stationed?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's good.
Josh really enjoys Missouri. I think he kind of likes it there. So
Missouri grows on you.
it does, I guess, after after a while.
So you eventually found yourself in the police work.
Yes, I don't have college education and such. I just was looking for kind of a good solid career. I mean, and something with a lot just varied from day to day and such. And the police work just seemed to have that. The day will. And even though we deal with the same people sometimes over and over again, but the day is always different, just new circumstances, such like that. I think my people handling skills were an asset, so I can write and articulate real well. So I thought, this is something I think I can do, and certainly I've enjoyed it, being a public servant, and then that, and just gaining the respect of the citizens around me, such that's a perk. I mean, I enjoy that.
You've seen a lot of strange things. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but the problem right now, it's very, very difficult. People don't realize the difficult situation for a family with a police officer and the wives and the children, because for wives and children, it's got to be a frightening thing at times, I would imagine.
The time factor is probably the hardest thing. Is the encroachment,
Yeah.
The shift work, and then on your time off, there's the court duty and such, and training. So it's demanding. There are times where at the end of the shift something of a serious nature, a serious crime could occur, and then you're going to have to hold over for hours. There's holiday times, birthdays and such that have to be set aside because you have to stay over and such. So yes, it's demanding, I think, on your time, really, and that's the thing I find that really puts pressure on families.
Well, you mentioned vacation time. Do you go back to Wisconsin on some of these vacations?
Oh, as much as we can. We try to go back on a yearly basis. However, that's not always happened. But yes, we sure try to make as many visits as we can.
You both have families still back in that area?
Yes, we still both sides have family and.
Well, for the wives, it's got to really be a tough feeling, because she never knows what horrible thing might happen. The tension must play an important part with Teresa, for example.
Well, I'm certain it does. To get a real insight on that, you'd have to ask her. She's done very well, though, through the years, and I think our faith in God, she's a woman of prayer, and I know, many times she's, gone into prayer for me over. And I didn't mention I was on the SWAT team for about 21 years now.
How many years?
21 years.
21 years.
And just recently kind of retired from the team. But so anytime we went on a raid or something like that, she definitely prayed for us. So, and but I think our spiritual relationship and such with God has been instrumental in keeping her at peace.
Well, we have to take a break, but you mentioned the word instrumental, and a lot of people have heard you sing at some of our get-togethers down there with the police department. So while we go to this break, would you sing a song that you're familiar with, that you enjoy? Like, for example,
something I got
God
memorized.
Bless America?
Let's see.
Or whatever. Anything that you've memorized.
Oh, let's see, something I can memorize, from memory. I can, let's try maybe just a verse of Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace, that's fine.
Okay. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see.
That's good. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.